In this devotional, I'm going to share with you 3 thoughts from Psalm 139, verses 7 through 12, where I'll ask the question, where shall I go from your spirit? Psalm 139, verses 7 through 12 says, "Where shall I go from your spirit? Or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light about me be night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is bright as the day, for darkness is as light with you." Psalm 139 is where David talks about the presence of the Lord, how the presence of the Lord is something that is always there. He asked this question, where shall I go from your spirit? And I can't help but think about Jonah. When Jonah receives word from the Lord that he is to go to Nineveh and prophesy to them, he tries to go the other direction. He tries to escape the presence of the Lord, and he finds out relatively quickly that this just isn't something you can do. You cannot flee from the presence of the Lord's Spirit. And this is something that should give us a sense of comfort, but sometimes might make us a little bit uncomfortable when we don't want to do that which the Lord has commanded. With this in mind, here are 3 thoughts from Psalm 139, verses 7 through 12, asking the question, where shall I go from your Spirit? Thought number 1, omnipresence. The Lord has this characteristic called omnipresence, which essentially means that He is always present in every space at all times. Meaning his nature is such that he experiences the wholeness of his creation and is there in all of his creation perpetually. So you cannot escape the presence of the Lord because by his nature, he is already in every place that he has made. So the omnipresence of the Lord means that you cannot escape from the Spirit of the Lord. And this is something that David even talks about. He says, if I go to the highest heights, if I go to the deepest depths, if I go to the other side of the world, it doesn't matter. The Lord is still there. And this is something that should bring us comfort because if the Lord's presence is always there, that means that we are never outside of his power and authority and control. So provided we are in his will, his power, his authority, his control, these are all things that give us great comfort and peace. It's only when we're in rebellion against God that we are uncomfortable with the fact that the Lord's presence is everywhere. Thought number 2, providence. David talks about how even if he goes to the deepest of depths or the highest of heights, that the Lord can still take him by hand and put him where he needs to go. That the Lord can lead you no matter where you happen to be. And this has baked within it the idea of providence. That the Lord is controlling all events that take place within creation to bring about his greatest glory and the ultimate good for his people. This is another one of those ideas that should give you a great deal of comfort. That even though you might experience pain and suffering in the moment, that ultimately the Lord is able to take you by hand wherever you happen to be and place you precisely where he means you to be. This is what the Lord is doing. He's doing this perpetually. That he is caring for his people and working out his purposes in the world precisely as he has eternally decreed. If that doesn't make you feel better about the experiences that you're having, I don't know what to tell you. Because, frankly, the idea that the almighty, benevolent God who loves me and cares for me is working out purposes that ultimately result in my good, this gives me a great sense of comfort. This is what the Lord is doing providentially in the world. Not just for me, but for all of his people. All of those whom he has selected to be his children. The Lord is working out their purposes perfectly for his ultimate glory and their ultimate good. And that should give us a great sense of comfort. Thought number 3, omniscience. You know, you can't get one over on the Lord. You can't ever trick him. You can't ever deceive him. This is what Jonah tries to do. He tries to trick the Lord. He tries to go in the opposite direction. It doesn't work. The reason why you can't ever trick the Lord, you can't ever escape him, you can't ever flee from his presence is because he knows everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. There is not anything that can possibly be known that the Lord doesn't know. That means that everything that's happening, he is directly familiar with. And not only is he directly familiar with because it's happening and he's experiencing it, but because he has ordained for it to come to pass. So this is why the Lord has this omniscience, is because he has decreed everything that's coming to pass in the first place. This is why it doesn't matter how dark the night gets. This is why darkness is not a problem for him. If it gets dark, we can't see. We can't see, and we don't know where we're going, and we don't know what we're doing. And there's a sense in which that just the mystery of the world, all the things that we don't know, are a darkness for us. But the Lord doesn't experience those darknesses because the Lord knows everything. He is omniscient. There is nothing that can be known that he does not in fact know. And because of this, we have great comfort because he has promised us things to come to pass and told us prophetically through his word some things that are definitely going to happen, and they give us a great sense of peace. The day of the Lord is something that's coming. The Lord has told us this. He's told us this throughout the text of Scripture, that there is a coming day of the Lord, the great and mighty return of Christ. It's going to be a day of wonder and terror. Wonder for those who have faith in the Lord, and terror for those who do not. But we know that this is going to happen because the Lord, in his omniscience, has told us that this is taking place. And that should give us all a sense of comfort. These three thoughts come from the assigned reading of Psalms 137 through 139. If you'd like to read through the Bible with me, you can do so by subscribing to this channel, by clicking on the link in the description, or by joining the Facebook group Through the Bible, where we are reading the text of Scripture together.